wonderful diamond community, thank you so much for taking the time, wherever you are around the world geographically, to bring your presence into this diamond space that we're actually creating, to participating in this process with us so that we can together not only amplify the essence and the energy for ourselves, but also in that sharing and being of service to the planet and humanity at the same time. So thank you so much. And to those of you who are joining in live, we have a wonderful group here online, enough to really, really boost the energy, and all of that will be embedded in the recording so that you can further amplify it when you connect in with it too. So as we know, there's no real time and everything occurs in the now. So we're all going to get the same benefit from the processes. So I thank you all for your willingness to simply be and to show up for this. I hope that you're going to enjoy the diamond journey through the next 5 activations that we're going to share. Now, the reason why I actually do this as a visual process, as a webcast process, is because I find that it's very, very useful to have a visual representation of some of the stuff that we are working with, understanding and explaining. I find that the visuals really help us to connect with the essence of this work. And I also work with diamond light codes, and there is a diamond light code that we're going to work with today. And it's really helpful to have that as a visual aspect too, so that I can explain that to you and how we're going to work with it. Before we actually go into the process of the activation itself. So they are all done on this webinar basis. When you do the downloads, you can actually download. I'll have an MP3 available for you. So you can also download the MP3 recording at the end of the session, and you will have the video up as a permanent reference so that you can refer back to the images too. So welcome to those who've actually just still joining in. Just so pleased to actually have you on board for this process. So what I would also like to just say to you is that some of you, Geraldine, fellow diamonds, good to be here. It's good to have you here, Geraldine. Some of the information that I will share with you, they will be those among you who have heard some of it before. So I really just ask for your patience where something is being reiterated, because you've actually done additional work and more in-depth work with me. So whatever I'm actually explaining or adding to that you may have heard, sometimes it serves to hear it again as a reminder. And for those of you that are new to the diamond work, I hope that you will find what I'm going to share with you as fascinating as I have along the way. So just fundamentally, very basically, we should be about an hour on the call. I'm going to try and keep it as concise as possible. So fundamentally, the diamond work actually started in 2003 with a download of mysterious geometries that I did not understand what they were, and only through the process of working with them did their purpose, meaning, and function begin to come to light. And a lot of those geometries actually had diamond or octahedral shapes in them, which really fascinated me. And it was another 18 months before the diamond light grid actually presented itself. One of the most fascinating aspects of this journey was that early in 2004, I was actually teaching an Antonia bodywork workshop, which is a really, really amazing bodywork process that's based on color. For those of you that are not familiar with my background, for instance, I am a color therapist. That was one of my initial trainings, if you like. I was so amazingly drawn to working with color right in the beginning of my awakening journey back in 97, 98. So it was a really amazing thing. And understanding the diamond and the way that the diamond actually moves light through its facets, it became very understandable to me much later on as to why I had been drawn to working with color. So I will give you a couple of color insights also through the journey that we take together. But it was so I did color therapy. I did Reiki. I became a traditional Reiki master. The healing energy was just absolutely pulsing through me at the time, at the beginning of '98. I did something like psychoneuroimmunology. I did metaphysical healing. I did all sorts of stuff. And then I moved to the UK. And I moved to the UK, and it felt as if my life had actually fallen apart because I moved to the UK on the basis of my higher guidance, and then my life fell apart. And I really couldn't understand what was going on. And of course, you guys will know, you guys have been on the journey, is that very often this needs to happen. We need to deconstruct some of the old stuff we've been carrying around, not just through our own life, but that we've taken on board through our genetic inheritance that we've actually carried for millennia and from past life soul experiences, and that sits in our soul matrix too. So we've got to deconstruct all of that. And that was, I didn't understand that at the time. But in 2003, I was sitting doing some really intense rebirthing exercises. And that was actually when the diamond codes presented themselves. And I didn't know that they were light codes at the time until I started seeing them moving and vibrating with light, quite literally containers of light, structures of light as information. And they really fascinated me. But early in 2004, I was doing a bodywork workshop. I was running a bodywork workshop which uses color. It's called the Antonair technique. It's truly amazing because it helps us to release trauma and things from the body. And there's an intricate link with the diamond that I discovered many years later. But I was running this workshop, and one of the ladies on the workshop actually came to me on the second weekend and said to me, I've got a message for you that came in this week. She was a very intuitive, highly sensitive person. So I said, okay, I'm listening. And she said, I've been told to tell you that you have to build the grid between the stars. And you guys would have actually seen that quote on my website if you've had a look at the website. And at that stage, I kind of went, okay, Amber, I'll write that down. And I looked up at the sky, and she said, no, between the Earth star and the Soul star energy centers, you have to build the grid between the stars. So I said, okay, I'll write that down. I haven't got a clue what that means. I really don't know what that is. I don't know how or what it looks like or whatever it is. And it was another probably another 8 months from getting that message that I actually was woken up at 2:30 in the morning and shown this octahedral grid of light. And it was truly, truly amazing. It was gridded through with these sort of fibers that were transmitting this golden light. And I saw it standing in front of me. It wasn't around me. I actually saw it in the room, this amazing grid. And the message was simply, here's the grid that goes between the stars. You have to build it. And at that moment, I remembered what Amber had told me, sort of 8 months previously. And that really made me sit up and listen, because I'd written it in my diary and kind of forgotten about it, even though the question was just running around unconsciously for a while. Well, what is it? What do you want me to do? So that's really the background, and that's where the Diamond Light Grid work started. And from that moment on, every moment of my time, almost, well, for a couple of years at least, was devoted to understanding what this grid was, what was required of me to do with it, how it was supposed to be built around us, what it all meant, how it actually aligned with the spiritual journey, and so on and so forth. So it has been a really amazing journey of unfolding that wisdom, and it's some of that I really hope to share with you during this process. Please feel free to insert any questions or comments into the little chat box as we go along. I'll keep my eye on it. So if there's anything that you would like to share, because then I can vocalize and share it with the rest of the community, with those who are actually on the call. I know the universe is just absolutely amazing. And I've been accused of being obsessed with the diamond from some people who just quite don't get it. And I just look and I say, well, if you really, really understood what the diamond is and what it does, you would understand that obsession, because it truly is. It's the heart. It is the heart of all that is. It is the scaffolding, the structure that connects us with the heart of all that is. So let's have a little bit of insight here before we go into the activation itself. Diamond takes us on the ultimate journey from darkness into light. We know that beautiful adage that, it's coal transmuted into diamonds. Well, it's not coal that's actually transmuted, it's carbon. So we're literally transmuting the carbon with our own body. It literally is the ultimate journey of bringing all that hides within our unconscious and elevating it into the light. When we align and we work with those diamond frequencies, it brings more and more of what has been hiding in our unconscious, both personally and collectively, and it brings it out of those shadows into visibility, into conscious awareness for healing. That's what diamond actually is, the master healer. It brings about and enables balance, therefore healing. It is very, very profound. It functions to transmute the carbon in our bodies from a soft hexagonal structure to a strong diamond, restoration of crystalline form. It releases all information from our cellular structures through the transformation of carbon. Now, I really just want to expand on that a little bit for you because you may have come across expressions out there within the community and within this field that make statements to the effect of, we are moving from being carbon based to being crystalline based beings. And I always look at that and I go, no, no, no. Um, yeah, sorry, Joyce is saying, is there a live video occurring? I only have audio online. Yeah, we're online from a video perspective. Can everybody else actually see the slides? Sorry, everyone on the recording, we just need to do a check-in. Yep, yep, the slides are visible and the information's visible. It must be something specifically with your connection, Joyce. Maybe you just want to, okay, so everybody else is fine. Joyce, maybe you just want to perhaps log out and log back in again. Oh, you can see the slides, okay. Okay, so this transmutation of carbon, we are, and all organic life actually follows a template that exists at the universal level that is carbon-based. Our entire biology is actually based on carbon. And carbon, as we know it in its raw form, actually is a very, very soft, like sooty texture. So yeah, it's graphite in pencils. That's soft. That's carbon. So it's very soft. So what we are actually doing is that we are, through this process of bringing the diamond light energy and essence into our being, we are bringing that light in. We are activating that carbon in order to be able to release the information, that information which is in the darkness, in the unconscious, we're bringing it into light. And as we do, we restore the fabric and the structure of the octahedron, which is a light transmitting form. Because carbon exists itself in two forms. Diamond is carbon. Diamond is carbon that has actually been transmuted. So we are transmuting the carbon within ourselves. We are already crystalline in form. The blueprints already exist. So we are not going from carbon to anything else. We're merely shifting the vibrational aspect of the carbon that binds together all of the activities within our body itself. So it's just really bringing that into your awareness. If you have come across that expression that says we're moving from carbon to crystalline, no, we are actually crystallizing and adjusting the carbon that we hold within our body in order to enable it. We are enabling the carbon within our body, the molecules, the cellular structures, the fabric, to be able to carry more light, because the soft form of carbon can't carry light. It's only through heat and light that we transmute that into its strongest form, which is diamond. So carbon is the only element that we know of that has these two states, that can exist within these two states, that is actually transmutable. And that's why we're in human form, because we do the transmutation through our biology. So you'll find that a lot of the work that I do tends to focus on the biology of our being, and through that we enable the connection with the expansiveness of space, with timelines, with dimensions, but it's all done beingness, because we then become the living embodiment of the divine through this adjusted fabric and structure. So the diamond template is always there, but it's our connection with it that is impeded by our level of consciousness. So you may want to view these two forms of carbon as being analogous to the different states of consciousness. So the dark carbon, the softness of the graphite, represents the lower consciousness that it actually exists within the shadows, the lower frequency, the lower vibrational consciousness aspect. Whereas the diamond reconnects us to a far higher frequency, to all of the higher frequencies of the divine level of consciousness. And through that, the inner transmutation actually takes place. So the diamond itself enables a recalibration and alignment to the universe of love. It reconnects and it amplifies and it clears and it brings wholeness to our heart fields. So I hope this is making sense for you um, at the moment. And I'm going to show you something in connection with that at the moment. It restores our perfected state. It binds together all teachings in schools. And that is something fascinating that I've actually found about doing this work, because once people really surrender into and experience the fabric of the diamond, once it becomes embedded within their being, and the activations begin. There's so many people that have said to me, aside from the consistency of it feels like coming home, which is really what it is. We come home to our divine essence, our perfected self, the self that we were always born to be. It also makes sense of all of the other teachings because it brings everything together into a cohesive whole. So I've had loads of people saying, oh my God, I look at this and I've done that and I've done that. And suddenly it all makes sense. Suddenly I can see this really big picture and it's making a lot of sense for me. So that's another aspect of what the diamond supports us with. It facilitates access. The diamond grid facilitates access to multiple dimensions, timelines, and universal information flows. So it automatically opens up those timelines. Uh, Yasmin says, just very quickly, I'll just share. Hello, Julian all had some technical glitches to fully connect. Oh gosh, with the graphics in the chat room. Great presentation, thank you. Oh, that's wonderful, Yasmina. Thank you for sharing. That's why I like doing the presentations, because to me, I really resonate with the visual aspect. I'm much better with the visual than I actually am with just the audio. Okay, so yeah, we automatically open up to different dimensions and timelines. So whenever we do any work, the healing takes place with timelines. It is the scaffolding or the architecture of our I am presence, our I am universal presence, our I am divine presence. That aspect of us that is just so way beyond the capacity of our physical being to embody it. In fact, the only way that our physical body can really embody the enormity and the magnitude of our I am presence is through the purification of the diamond structure, because the diamond is the strongest shape that there is. You can pack more energy into an octahedron than you can into any other shape. So when you really start thinking about the vastness of your I am presence, the diamond is the shape that actually enables you to fully connect, embody, and hold it within this structure. It bridges the formless with the world of form to enable embodiment of the divine. It purifies and it aligns all of the chakras to facilitate energy flow and alignment. And it is, of course, it represents, and it has done in many schools of spiritual thought and teaching, it represents spiritual attainment. It truly is the grid between the stars. We are born of the stars, the carbon that actually forms the fundamental templates of our life force, our life being, was born in the stars themselves. because when stars burn up under that heat and pressure, the gases actually combine to ultimately form carbon. And when stars supernova, it's that carbon that then is transmuted into diamond, solid diamond. So diamond becomes the lasting manifestation, the eternal manifestation of that starlight. And I mentioned on the John Bergos call that there are diamonds the size of planets, and those diamonds were actually once stars that were burning bright, that have settled into their resting state, and their resting space as diamond. They serve as enormous transmitters, beacons within the universal space, so we can actually connect with them. Just amazing, amazing what happens out there in the universe. So there you go. We truly are. We are the grids between the stars, and we are building and purifying the grids between the stars. This aspect of purification actually comes in too when we understand the actions of pyramids, because the diamond or octahedron, as was mentioned to you, is in three-dimensional form two pyramids that are joined at the base, and that's your perfect octahedron. And this is an image that I just love to share. It is the manifestation at one of the highest levels within our universal space of the way in which galaxies gather together in superclusters, and these superclusters can have as many as, sort of hundreds or thousands of galaxies within them. You might have small numbers, and you can have very, very large numbers. So these are superclusters of galaxies with millions and millions and millions of stars and solar systems and individual systems within each one of them. It's just amazing. But what science has discovered is that those superclusters organize themselves so beautifully in space in what they call the egg carton effect. They call it the egg carton effect because that's what it looks like. But in essence, what do you see? You see chains of interconnected diamonds, the grid between the stars at the macro level. So I really just wanted to share that with you as a visual aspect, because it sometimes really helps to put it into perspective. So when we connect with the grid through our own being, it's almost as if we don't really need to travel anywhere, because we are instantaneously then connected with everything through this amazing grid. Now, I'm just seeing here that I can't see any comments coming in the chat room, although I can see some typing going on. So I don't know if my chat room is stuck. Maybe not. Okay. So just to follow on from that, I hope that's given you guys a little bit of an overview of just why the diamond is so significant. There is so much more for me to share with you, but I'm aware of the fact that we have limited time for each of the sessions. So I'm really focused on getting into the activation. Amazing. Okay, super. Now, I wanted to share this with you because this was a fascinating image. In fact, it's one of the only images that I have ever seen that is it's just truly amazing. You guys may be familiar with photos and capturing orbs on digital photographs. Those spheres of light that have shapes and faces and the most beautiful patterns within them. Yes, Yasmina, new kind of orb. This was sent in a number of years ago by one of my readers called Lakita Marley in Australia. And I was blown away because this light form, she was taking pictures. She was in a park with her family, and she was just taking pictures in the park. And when she looked at the pictures on the computer, there was this diamond. It's literally three-dimensional. You can see it. So it's not a flat orb, which is the way that we normally see things. You can actually see the three-dimensional form within this, a three-dimensional octahedron with the pillars of light actually connecting it top and bottom and connecting it to the earth. And this to me just really blew me away. It's a phenomenal photo. It's very seldom that I think we see something like this in 3 dimensions, and I just extend my heartfelt thanks to Lakita for sharing that. So just be aware that all around us in the etheric field as we are activating these templates, we are actually stimulating and also calling into being in presence yet more of these energetic structures, which are serving as triggers for other people too. So really be aware of that. Beyond the visible form, these structures actually exist. Just amazing. So something that I wanted to share with you. Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful picture. The octahedron, what is really, really important to understand about the octahedron is that when we think, diamond, we kind of get that diamond shape. So we kind of get that octahedral diamond shape. But many, many people draw the diamond perhaps elongated, in which case it is known as a lozenge. It actually has a slightly different geometry and a slightly different description. And it is significant in its own sense. However, the sacred octahedron that I speak of, the diamond that we work with, is perfectly, perfectly balanced. It has 8 facets of equilateral triangles. And this is really significant to understand in respect of this deconstruction, reconstruction process that we're doing today. So you can see here in this image that you have 8 faces of equilateral triangles. Been seeing 6s everywhere recently. That's amazing. Yeah, there you go. Equilateral triangles. So it means that the angles are all exactly equal. And engineers actually know and understand that this shape, this particular form, the equilateral triangle, also has exceptionally strong supportive properties. When you build those facets into the sacred octahedron as it stands here, you really create incredible strength. One of the qualities or properties of the equilateral triangle of each of these facets is that it facilitates infinite recursion of light. And what that means is that you have light that actually almost folds in on itself through this shape into infinity. So you can now imagine the brilliance, the amount of light. This is why diamonds actually exhibit such amazing qualities and such incredible brilliance, gem diamonds, is because of this light recursion quality. So when you have this perfection of the 8 facets in every single diamond that we have resonating, connected with our physical form, you connect with the infinite flow, the infinite brightness of the divine light, the ultimate source of light. It's our conduit back into that infinite, the infinite and the oneness of all. So it is the shape that actually provides us with the opportunity to experience that light more intensely, physically, and help us reconnect with that infinite self within. And here is what I was actually communicating, or just mentioning to you, is that the octahedral number is 111. Within the octahedron, this is one of its very specific properties. So this is just looking through it and joining the axes together. Is you have an axis that runs from here to here and from there to there, and then to each one of the side points of the diamond, the balanced octahedron, and every one of these vertices or axes is exactly the same length. And this is the only geometry that exhibits this quality. In mathematical terms, it is given the ratio of 1, 1, 1, because this is all equal. As if you look at the internal vertices of a square, any of the other sacred geometries, you will find ratios of 1, 2, 1, or half 1, 1, or whatever they may be. The octahedron is the only shape that actually has this quality, that represents complete and total balance. And I have to say that my experiences with the ones and with the 11s and the 1111s actually started back in late 98, early 1999, and I had no clue what it meant other than that they were suddenly in my face everywhere. Many years later, I would actually come to this information and realize that when we are prompted or triggered by those 111s that we see on digital clocks, whether it's 1111, all permutations of the ones, it is an opportunity to, in that moment, stop. It's either a confirmation that we are on the right path, or it's a call back from a deviation or a distortion of the path. So what I always say to people is, if you see those 111s, stop. And in that moment, just go to what you were thinking, what you were feeling at the time that those ones caught your attention, because that will give you a clue as to whether you're online and aligned with the divine flow through your life. So it's all it is. It's a reminder. It's an opportunity for us to actually return to that perfection, to return to that divine flow, and to return to the diamond, to come back into that completely poised, balanced, held space. So I hope that makes some sense for you. Into the light, go back into the light, the infinity of the ever-present light. So, yeah, bearing that in mind and the balance, not all triangles or diamonds are equal. So you get unbalanced polarities. Let's say you've got a triangle like this. What we ultimately want, let me just show you this first. What we ultimately want within our personal diamond grid is all activation of all of these little diamonds in their perfected form. Now, what happens more often than not, because we really are dealing with the human condition, is that we have been born with distortions, we are programmed with distortions, with belief systems. All of those serve, if they don't serve us, if they're negative belief systems about ourselves and our place in the world and our understanding of the divine, they serve to unbalance each of those facets or polarities. So you can see that this is an ongoing unfolding process because there's so many facets in your diamond grid. So all the work that you do is really, really important. But if you unbalance those polarities, you skew. Okay, so if you've got a belief system that leans too much into the importance of the masculine energy as opposed to the feminine. So that's just a simple example, for instance. You will find that the facet of one of the facets of your diamond somewhere in relation to the emotional content that it brings up will actually become skewed in that direction. And the minute it becomes skewed, you lose the infinite recursion of the white light. You actually then start breaking the light up. You get certain frequencies that become more prominent because of the movement in light. And that's where colors, and this is where I get to with my understanding of color, is that's why certain colors provide us with information about where we may be out of balance and what we can do to actually help to restore that, because then certain colors will start being emitted or captured from that distorted facet. So that's really the essence of today's session, is that we're going to work within our diamond grid on where those distortions perhaps are in existence, so that we can restore as many of those templates within our overall grid as possible. Because when we have the restoration of templates, we can deepen the level of activation. So yeah, you can kind of see how skewed or distorted some of those facets may become depending on the belief systems and the emotions that we are actually invested in. So that's why all the work that we do, whether we come at it through psychology and understanding our psyche, whether we come at it from archetypes and understanding archetypes, it all ultimately fits into the work and the restoration of the diamond grid, because it is restoring the facets of your diamond. So I hope that makes sense for you. It's obviously explaining it my way, in the way that I understand it, and coming from a scientific background, because I am originally a biologist. That was my original degree, and I spent sort of 17 years in a technical environment. So I really like to go into some of the explanation of it. And so for those of you who have done the diamond work with me already, this will give you a little bit of something that expands on what we have already done, that you can take away and also apply to the work that you do. So I hope that that's been meaningful for all of you. Okay. And that's why I like using visuals, because I find it's easier to explain it. Okay, that's super. So as long as you can actually get that. So yeah, we're human, and this is, so it's not just a case of doing one activation or 3 activations with you guys and then all's fantastic because now it's all activated. We have levels and layers of diamonds within our ultimate grid. So there's reparation and restoration of those facets at so many different levels. And that's why I say it is a process of unfolding. So this just gives you a couple of visuals. I love this one because you can see all the little light sparks. Yeah. Joyce says, always love colors and numbers. Yeah, me too. There are colors that we work with in the diamond which support us in restoring balance too. And you'll see the turquoise here, which is one of the ones we worked with the other day, as well as the magenta. You can see all these little sparks of light that actually light up through the interconnecting points, the little vortices at each one of these interconnection points within your diamond grid. And they light up like stars. So it is also, in a different way, the grid between the stars. There's one really, really important thing that I just want to share with you for this session before we go into the activation process. And that is that the diamond itself centers and aligns with the base of the spine. And I was told that so, so clearly. There are people out there working with the diamond who don't necessarily anchor it. They have begun the process of achieving a resonance within us with the octahedral field, but the actual alignment process takes place in alignment with the very base of the spine, as I mentioned to you, which is the tailbone or the holy bone. And one of the reasons for this, and this is the link back to the heart, is that when the tailbone is the exact geometric center of the body. It's also the geometric center between the Earth star, this energy center that sits below the feet, and the Soul star, the energy center that rests above the head. So you can see the grid extends outside, sort of beyond the physical form, the physical body. So this shape, the pyramidal shape, actually gathers etheric energy and it concentrates it in a place 1/3 of the way up the pyramid, and it distributes it from that point. So you can imagine now this recursion of light, it comes in and then it's distributed from that particular point. Now look at this. So if you take a point 1/3 of the way up from the base of the spine, 1/3 of the way up between the base of the spine and the soul star, not the top of the head, the soul star, is the heart. And this is so, so significant because it means that whenever we align the diamond in its the sacrum, the holy bone, sacrum and coccyx, actually the same because it's that fused bone at the bottom. But the sacrum actually has I think it has a pyramidal shape, but the sacrum itself is known as the holy bone. So you really align it at the base of the spine, and then 1/3 of the way up, you really stimulate energy flows into the heart. So you expand and focus on the heart field the minute you align the diamond in its correct position. Something else just to mention to you, because we have quite a big group and there may be one or two who may experience it. One of the other ways that I like to describe this alignment is that it's like energetic chiropractic. Some people have experienced and heard audibly a clicking as the diamond actually aligns itself in its rightful position. And I don't usually sort of extend this information in a public forum because then some people get disappointed because they kind of go, well, I haven't clicked. Whereas others have come to me when we've just done diamond work and said the weirdest thing actually just happened if I hadn't actually mentioned the clicking. And that's when the minute I settled into my diamond, I actually heard and felt a click. So that can happen as it literally clicks into place. And very often that happens if the alignment has been perhaps skewed or influenced quite severely by trauma and events, whether in this lifetime or others. So there may be some of you that may hear or experience a click. It may not be straight away. It may be through the process of the activations themselves as we continue down on the journey. So I'm just mentioning that to you. So it literally is like when you get the clicking of the bones in chiropractic. So everything clicks into place and it all aligns again. It's quite fascinating. Okay, so we're going to work with this particular light code today. And this light code is one that I actually call Sacred Filter. I just absolutely, I love them all. So I'm not going to start that. I was, oh, I love this one. And everyone says, but you love them all. And I said, yes, I do. So this is Sacred Filter. The light codes both emanate from the diamond and they support the alignment of the diamond. The essence of this code is that it aligns, look at the brilliant light at the center. If you can imagine this in 3D form, this light would actually be running down your core column, connecting your soul star and your earth star, okay, down along your spine. This particular code, what it represents, you'll actually see that there are incoming laser, very direct rays of energy, and there is a dispersion of energy through this code as well. So what this code does is it supports us in releasing what is discordant, releasing what needs to be filtered out of our space. I like what Jenny said earlier. It said it seems like it would take an infinity to activate all vertices. Well, ultimately, that's our journey back to the divine. So we're really just accelerating our journey back by doing and working within the diamond framework, and really appreciate everything else that you've done. Um, so So yeah, this code actually helps energetically to filter out, I actually say it filters out the noise within our space. It filters out all that is not coherent. So you could look at this as being the difference between coherent light and incoherent, or coherent energy and incoherent energy. So the coherent energy feeds and will amplify the core within our being. The color green is also significant with each one of the light codes. I was actually told that the colors, the background colors are significant because it sets the frequency tone for the body to be able to effectively work with the information in the code. So you guys might actually find that you have an experience with it during this process, which enables the unpacking of information within your being. But green as a color, this is sort of a yellowish olive green. There's different greens in here. So green, the olivey green actually represents feminine leadership. It is the restoration and the honoring of the sacred or divine feminine within us. It's bringing that back into the core. It's also green as the energy or essence of change, of space, of our space. It represents change and adjustment to our space. So if we think of it in those words, I mean, green is many, many things. But so just in a condensed form, if we think about it in respect of adjusting our space and a change of space, it sets the frequency for us to be able to make those adjustments within our diamond grid and our diamond form. So this is what we're going to work with today for this particular activation as we work on deconstructing some of these distortions, that which is incoherent, releasing the energy and information, and rebuilding. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. Is everybody actually ready? I can't believe that it is sort of almost 40 minutes already. I talk a lot, don't I? I just like to make sure that you guys have got as much information as possible so that it becomes meaningful. Okay, so if you are ready, I'm just going to have a drink of water. Okay, thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. So, what I would like you to do, oh, bless you, Rachel, thank you, is to just spend a few moments focusing on the code on the screen. because the colors and the form will be taken in through the optic nerves as you allow the light to enter your system through your eyes. So just soften your eyes as you gaze at the code on the screen, taking in all of the detail and being aware as you focus on it of the movement that is taking place within it. It's as you really focus on the energy, you begin to experience the aliveness of the consciousness that is transmitted to you through the light code. And just be aware of that code embedding itself within your body so that when I ask you to recall it with your eyes closed, it is instantaneous. So just breathe it in as you continue gazing for 1 or 2 more moments. You may wish to focus on the light at the center, or allow your eyes to travel around the code, taking in all of the details. You may be aware of a quickening or an expansion that's already beginning to take place within your heart. And now close your eyes and just begin by taking some long, slow, deep breaths in. Hold the internal focus of the light code of sacred filter. Notice if there's anywhere in your body or being that it wants to travel to. And simply allow your breathing to find its natural rhythm and flow, a rhythm that is perfect for you. As you breathe in and out and surrender into this sacred space, this moment, this eternal now. And invoke your diamond, the essential fabric of your diamond, and that field around you that extends equally in all directions, holding you aligned between your soul star and your earth star, above your head and below your feet, poised, balanced, surrendered in grace. And give the intention for your diamond to align in its perfect position, centered at the very tip of your tailbone. And you can almost feel the cells in your body heave a sigh as it aligns, settles into place. And as it does, there is a flow of light through your core column up to your soul star, down to your earth star, holding you. and then out to all of the axes, poised, balanced. Just take a look around at your diamond, at the main fabric of your diamond field as it extends around you at the moment. And just have a look for any distorted facets, any areas where it may feel or seem out of balance, or dark, or perhaps not present, not complete. We're going to work on the internal fabric shortly, so just look at your key structure at the moment. And call forth the sacred filter light code from within you, from wherever it's resting within your being. Send it into whatever space or nook or part of your grid, part of your diamond may be out of balance, lacking in light. And watch the code as it performs its action, its gift of love on that part of your diamond. And you can feel the expansiveness and the warmth of your heart field as the restoration of the light in your key structure begins to fuel an influx and an inflow of divine light into your heart. And now take that sacred filter light code and send it down, down below your feet, so that it appears as if you're standing on it, standing so that the white in the center of it is aligned with the core column that runs along your spine, all the way down and up, connecting the stars. And now we're going to allow Sacred Filter to expand its presence to support us in establishing clearer facets within the fabric of our grid structure, our personal diamond grid. So as you breathe now, begin by simply breathing that green color, all of the shades and nuances of green up through your feet into your body, all the way up, so that those greens infuse your diamond and your body with tints and shades that hint and speak to you of a willingness to change, of a joyfulness that awaits you through change, through restoring your connections with the divine, with your divine essence. And just allow that green light to almost recalibrate your body and your energy fields in preparation. Be very aware of the changes, the adjustments, the shifts that are taking place within your body. Be aware of any fears that arise, any emotions, any love, any expansiveness. Whatever it is that arises within you, it's all perfect. It is all acceptable. Simply observe it without judgment. And within this green environment, as your space comes alive, your consciousness is directed within and through your diamond into some of the smaller facets where distortions and misalignments have taken place or exist. Simply allow yourself to observe where these distortions are. You may notice them in the form of different colors. You may get a sense of them emotionally. You may experience it through archetypes, images, words, or sounds. Whichever way these distortions are presented to you, it is simply an opportunity to bring them into awareness, into consciousness. Just seek them out, look for them, allow them to communicate with you, for these represent aspects of yourself in need of healing. And now take your attention and your focus back down to the light code that's vibrating beneath your feet. And you see it almost two-dimensionally at the moment. And now that code begins to come alive and to move and to expand into its three-dimensional form. And it begins by expanding that column of light that's running from your Earth star to your Soul star. And the code begins to expand around that central core column. You may feel a quickening in your body as you expand this code so that it becomes a three-dimensional sphere of living, moving consciousness. And as you breathe in now, you breathe in coherent turquoise light through this code. For turquoise represents emotional freedom. It represents connection with humanity, represents your connection with humanity. It assists us in breaking down the layers around the heart, for all emotional discomfort impacts our heart. Breathe in the turquoise light, the rays of turquoise light. And expand the light of your core column as your heart field strengthens. Your core column begins to expand in diameter and width, emanating light into your field, into your diamond. And the strength of that light, made coherent, gives the energy and the impetus to break the distorted facets within your diamond and to begin to release the emotional energy that's been invested in holding these distortions in place. And those distortions are carried out of your field on the light code into the greater diamond grids. And as the distortions are broken, the purity of the light and the coherence within your core column provides the information to restore the integrity to the fabric of your diamond. And it further deepens and expands your heart field. One feeds upon the other so that it becomes an exponential expansion of yourself through this process. This is part of that recursion of light that takes place when the distortions are mended. Be aware of whatever emotions are released through the breaking down, the opening up of those facets and the restoration into their perfect equilateral triangles. And the code maintains its filtering process as that recursion of light continues to expand your core column and your heart, infusing the cells in your body with the permanent reminder of your diamond beingness, of your infinite self, expanding your DNA. Notice what changes are taking place right down at the cellular level as this activation deepens your diamond connection. Sparks of light emanate, switch on within your diamond field and within your body. As your grid fabric is repaired. Acknowledge the belief systems, the emotions, the pain, the hurt that led to the distortions in the first place. Be in thanks and gratitude for the lessons and the opportunity to grow and evolve through those patterns, through those colors, through those lenses on life, and love them. And as your body and your cells and your whole being vibrates with this expansive new energy, allow that light code now to withdraw to its resting position beneath your feet. And you know that you can call on the support and the action of sacred filter whenever you wish to clear or declutter your energy space, to remove the distorted, filter out the distorted energies and repair the lenses of perfection. Notice how bright and clear your diamond and your energy fields are and how much cleaner your body feels. And now from your soul star above your head, there is a series of beautiful, vibrant diamonds that begins to descend. And all in all, there are 8 of them that form and anchor in the essence of your core column in your greater grid. These are vitally important for supporting and maintaining stability. You allow them to drop down until the first one clicks or anchors into place with your Earth star and extends to your feet. And the second one joins it and builds up a column through the center of your being, 4 below the base of your spine and 4 above, with a final diamond connecting the top of your head with your soul star energy center. You may even hear these diamonds, these core column diamonds, click into place as they connect with each other, enhancing the communication between parts of your body, of your energy fields, opening up your interdimensional communications between the core of your being and the core of the universe. Spin those diamonds now. Give the intention for those diamonds to spin. As they fully activate your core, spinning light, the infinite beauty of the perfected light into your diamond, broadcasting it out so that it emanates out of your diamond, connects with all of the others that are on the call, so that this spinning light connects as a network, as a fabric around our beloved mother, our beloved planet, anchoring it deep within the earth, feeding the earth mother as we are fed through our own process. We are nourished by the earth. We give her that loving nourishment back. And not only that, we feed this light that is being amplified into the planetary grids, that it ripples through into areas of distortion within the planetary grids, helping to restore those lenses. And if you wish to send the sacred filter light code out into the earth grids, then do this as we support our great mother in restoring integrity to the fabric, the diamond fabric of her being. Spend a few moments feeling, being aware of this amplification, this interconnectedness, and of the deepest gratitude emanating from our mother, as all of our support is given back in thanks and love. And her diamond templates are also being restored as the sacred filter light code seeks out places in order to hold open the powerful positive portals, acupuncture points within the earth, and to weaken and disseminate the distorted portals that have existed, that have been feeding the earth and all her inhabitants, with those belief systems that have not served humanity or the earth. And the earth activations further amplify your ability to receive the frequencies of diamond light, deepening your connection within your heart center, deepening your connection with your own magnificent presence, with your love. And because the diamond ultimately is the restored fabric, there is no need to release any connection with it. Simply hold this energized space, this enlightened space, as you take a deep breath in. Simply slow down the spinning of your core diamonds to allow your body an opportunity to integrate the intense energy that has been brought into your physical body. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. As you become aware once more of your physical body, shifts and changes in your physicalness, the vibrations within your cells, within your bones, throughout the fabric of your being, of your surroundings, sounds. Take a deep breath in as you return more of your magnificent diamond self into waking consciousness. And as you open your eyes, be aware of how your vision may appear as a consequence of the activation. You may see more clearly. And once more, deep breath in as you feel your fingers and feel your toes. And return to waking consciousness. Whoa. How are you guys doing? We've got some comments coming in. The powerful. Helen says, wow. Cecilia says, powerful. Yeah, I'm telling you, that light code. Nikki says, that was beautiful. And says, woo, that was really powerful, very complete. Yeah, and beautiful. And then what it is beautiful. It's powerful in its essence. And the light codes really add another dimension to it. Rachel says, lots of vibration as usual in my hands. The sound of your voice always takes me deep. Thank you. Yes, vision was clearer. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, I'm aware of the vibrations in my body as we were actually going through that, but also the power of the sacred filter light code that has really kind of opened up in a new way in respect of this three-dimensionality and its functionality. Um, so Valerie says that was wonderful. Felt the spinning of the diamonds. Yeah, that's quite amazing when we do that. Fantastic. When focusing on the sacred filter, it turned into a moving energy. Yeah, it does. That's just amazing. Joyce says, I felt my diamond wobbling at the beginning. Yeah, and it can. And that's because we're looking for the distortions, and now it feels anchored. Wonderful. Joyce, thank you. Wow. And says, live is definitely more powerful, more presence. Beautiful. Yeah, there is something really special about the connectivity, and I know it doesn't work for everybody. But I also know that the recordings are especially powerful because they will go out straight away. You're not looking at something that was recorded, sort of 2 months ago. You're looking at something that was recorded a day ago. So we're still anchoring in and experiencing the energy. So the recordings will still work. Ah, Linda says felt the click. Oh, I love it. Thank you. Jacqueline says, felt the core being cleared and energized and then reconnected to the audio. Oh, how interesting. Heart feels very open. I felt a deep warmth emerging from within the spinning diamonds. Yeah, there is a heat. Where do the 8 diamonds line up in the core? Okay, let me just show you very quickly. So we have one that connects here to the top of the head to this, and the soul star, and you have this one here below the feet and the earth star. Then you have this. It's kind of like from the feet, the heels, up to the top of the calves. The next one covers the knees up to the thighs, and then the thighs up to the center. You then have this one up here. The first one actually connects you into your heart. The second one connects you up to your collarbone. The next one basically encompasses your head, and then it goes up to the soul star. So that gives you some indication of how the alignment of those core diamonds works. Katie says, got very warm at first, lots of magenta, quick flickers and shoots of green. Then miraculously at the end, the exact green and the click at the neck. Oh, you guys are clicking. It's just as well I actually mentioned that. I mean, I wonder if it would have happened if I hadn't mentioned it, but people do experience this clicking, and I was kind of aware of the core column clicking into place as we were doing that aspect. This is something I will definitely return to many times. Really amazing. Well, that's why it's recorded for you. Wonderful, Linda. Because you can do this at any time. Because everything that we do in that respect will actually help to filter out all of that discordant, distorted energy. Joyce said, thanks, I felt them dropping in the core diamonds. I wanted to know where they landed. Yeah, so that's an idea of where they landed. Now, what I will do with you guys and for you all is I will put up this light code. Yeah, I know you need to go, Geraldine. Thank you. Deep sense of peace, expansion, and unity. Thank you. Just beautiful. Love to you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Geraldine, for being here. So what I'm going to do is I will also, when I post up the recording, is I will post up this light code for you so that you may even like to print it out and put it into your environment as a reminder. So there's an extra gift for you in respect of the Sacred Filter Light Code. I use it every time I sit down to do some diamond work, so it's beautiful. Cecilia says, and Patricia says, I saw the filter going up and down, clearing me. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Patricia. Super powerful. Loved it. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'm so glad you enjoyed that, guys. I'm going to sort out the recording for you, and then I will post it up together with the Sacred Filter Light Code for you. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing your energy. I just love the strength and the beauty of this shared diamond space. And with all of you diamond souls on the line, it's just been really beautiful. Oh, Linda says, I felt the click when listening to some of your other work, but did not know what it was. Now I do. Oh, thank you. Just as well, I thought I had to mention it. Thank you all. So thank you, everybody, for sharing your energy, for lending it. Loved it. Very powerful. Love you all. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend further. I would love to hear from you if you have any very particular personal experiences. So please feel free to email me. That's julie@diamondlightworld.com. So yeah, it's lovely to be able to share in those experiences. Anything weird going on, use this as often as you can in the next 2 weeks until we return So we've got a 2-week gap before the next activation, which enables some of this integration to take place. And you can do this a few times to really strengthen the fabric of your diamond grid, and to enable this activation to integrate within the cells in your bodies. So it really deepens it. So wonderful. Mwah. Love and gratitude to you all. It's a little bit longer than I expected because it's almost 90 minutes, but then that's the way it works. Love you all. Look forward to hearing from you, Yasmina. And thank you all so much for participating in this session. And I hope that those of you who are picking up with the recording have just as much of a powerful, beautiful experience. So much, much love and gratitude to you all.